Good morning. It's Thursday, April 4th. Thanks so much for joining us for this edition of Up to the Minute. I'm Sade Campbell, and I serve as HCC Strategic Enrollment Communications and Social Media Manager. Pleased to be joined by my co-host for the very first time as my co-host, Marissa Carrasco, who is the advising manager at our HCC Southeast College. Welcome to Up to the Minute as a co-host, and happy Thursday, Marissa.
Happy Thursday. I'm glad to be there. And who knew, Sade, we're wearing the same color scheme today. It's amazing.
Well,
we planned it out.
Well, for those who want to join in the matching fun and making sure they don't miss an edition of Up to the Minute, how can they find us online?
Definitely. So thank you, Sade. So we're live on Houston Community College District Facebook, not the HCC page, and YouTube. We're also on X, LinkedIn, and HCCTV at noon, 5 p.m., 10 p.m., Monday through Friday.
All right. Thanks so much for that. Well, today is Thursday Family Fun Day, as it always is. When you see this face most of the time on Up to Minute, it's Thursday and it's Family Fun Day. And today we're talking about a kitten shower and bottle training. Yes, you heard right. For our most vulnerable rescue animals. Joining us to talk about that today is Renee Vasquez, who is the director of Fort Bend Animal Services. Welcome to the show, Renee.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
I really look forward to hearing more about just exactly what that means for our rescue animals. You and Marissa are going to have a great conversation in just a minute. But first, we are going to kick things off with Jessica Asis, who is the CEO of Prosper Waco and the co-chair for the 2024 Texas Lyceum's Public Conference, to talk about a big space and innovation conference that HCC is co-sponsoring tomorrow. Welcome to the show, Jessica.
Thank you so much for having us, Sade. So excited to be here with y'all.
Yeah, well, we're thrilled to have you here to talk about Texas Lyceum's upcoming conference with the theme Mission Control, Leadership in Space Technology and Innovation. And this sounds like a fascinating event, especially for Houston, a city with such a rich space history, and where it's just it's synonymous with Houston, we have a problem. That's how ingrained space history is into the city. So can you tell us a little bit about what sparked the idea for this conference and what you hope attendees will take away from this experience?
Absolutely. So, they're really, in a nutshell, our hope with this is to really explore the tremendous opportunities for Texas and our influential roles and opportunities to tap into the vast potential of space to impact humanity. I come from the Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development world, and aerospace and aviation was one of our target industry sectors. So this idea was sparked years and years ago, and it's really exciting now to see it coming to fruition.
I can imagine that something like this large and significant would take years of planning. Well, and we're excited that our Chancellor, Dr. Margaret Ford Fisher, is a featured panelist. Can you tell us a little bit about why the event committee wanted to connect higher ed's role in space innovation?
Absolutely. Well, what we know is that it's really going to take all sectors of our workforce and education pipeline working together to meet the workforce needs of this space industry. So that's everything from our K-12 systems to technical colleges like Texas State Technical College, to community colleges, to four-year and advanced institutions and beyond. And obviously, to have a leader such as Dr. Ford Fisher, the HCC Chancellor, whose leadership is imperative. We know that HCC is making tremendous contributions to the STEM-related workforce in Houston. And it's that kind of leadership and vision that we need at HCC and throughout our state to meet the growing needs of this sector.
Well, it is certainly a big deal for us to be participating, and it is a big deal for the state of Texas. Tell us a little bit about the host organization, Texas Lyceum, and why the team has prioritized, because you all do a lot, and why it's prioritized focusing on space exploration and innovation in the state.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, Sade. So we are the state's premier nonprofit, nonpartisan statewide leadership organization. We're comprised of 96 directors elected from across the state who serve as conveners and thought leaders on state and national issues. We're all elected and deeply passionate about our state. We go on to serve our communities in lots of ways. Our directors and alumni have folks like the Speaker of the House, Lieutenant Governors, several Texas governors, U.S. reps, Senator Ted Cruz, White House staff, U.S. secretaries, ambassadors. And really, it's just a forum for bringing together Texas's top corporate, civic, and community leaders from across diverse industry sectors, backgrounds, all united in a passion for solving the most critical issues facing our state. And when we see space, we know that this is really, truly one of the greatest coming issues. And it's just really imperative that we communicate and bring folks together to come up with a statewide plan for positioning Texas for continued leadership.
Yeah, absolutely. And timing is everything, right? So why is now such a good time for the state to be positioning itself to have readiness around this area?
Yeah, I mean, I think we are really on the cusp, Sade, of what some are calling the fourth revolution, from agricultural, industrial, technological, the space revolution. And we saw just last week the historic announcements of the Texas Space Commission bill and the appointments of the Texas Space Commission Board of Directors, the Texas Aerospace Research and Space Economy Consortium Executive Committee. And we'll have several of those appointees in attendance at our conference. And so really, we chose this date because of the solar eclipse this coming Monday. And so there's so much investments and enthusiasm right now around space. We're excited to capture those synergies and have these conversations now.
And for a lot of people, they may be listening and be like, I don't know, this doesn't sound like it's for me. I'm not advanced in understanding what's going on in STEM and space. What would you say to someone who's listening? Who is this conference really for, and what can they expect from it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a role for all of us. So whether we are as educators or in education leadership, employers, policymakers, any of us really have opportunities to think about how do we remove the barriers to growth and ingenuity and unleash the potential of space for the common good of humanity.
And you mentioned barriers, and the conference will focus on both opportunities and challenges available to Texas and the country. This dichotomy of sorts is something your team is calling PubCom. Will you please share how the event will help attendees walk away not only understanding all the great big things that are coming with innovation, but also the challenges, opportunities, and the opportunities to contribute to solutions?
Absolutely. So by bringing together so many commercial business leaders, policymakers, elected officials, education leaders, such as the HCC Chancellor, NASA, Department of Defense, we can come together and come up with constructive solutions to remove some of those barriers. We'll be talking about everything from policy to public infrastructure and beyond. So it's really the opportunities come together by bringing folks together to identify constructive solutions for the public and private sectors to unite around a shared vision for good.
And as we talked about at the top of the show, Houston is already known as a space city by many. How will the event continue that legacy?
Yeah, well, we're from starting off with opening clips of JFK's speech at Rice in the 1960s. We'll really go from there to explore Houston's legacy of being a center for space leadership and the factors that will contribute not only to Houston's leadership, but to the state's prominence in the space sector. We'll be talking about policy, public infrastructure, spaceport investments, economic development, the private sector growth, national security and defense, technology and innovation, the future of space exploration, workforce development, reskilling and upskilling, K-12 education. The most difficult thing was narrowing on the top issues, but we think we've done a great job, and we're really excited to have HCC as a partner and to have you all's leadership, not only in this conference, but in Houston for the work ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. We are so intentional as an institution in making sure we have our industry partners informing how we should be shifting our curriculum to meet the demands of the workforce. So I just, I'm a little biased, but I think it would be a natural extension of our work for us to have our voice and face in a place at the conference. So again, like I said, very excited that this is happening, but we have missed the details. So you've given us a sneak peek into what sounds like a must-attend event for anyone interested in the future of space. As we close out, please share how people can find out more information, time, date, location, all that good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So you can find more information on the Texas Lyceum website, which is www.texaslyceum.org, to find more about this conference and all of the great work of the Texas Lyceum.
Thank you so much, Jessica. It has been a pleasure learning more. I feel a degree smarter, actually, and just talking about it and encouraging everyone to get out to the conference. Jessica serves as the CEO of Prosper Waco and the co-chair for the Texas Lyceum's 2024 Public Conference, which HCC is a partner of. We'll have information posted after the show. Thanks so much for joining us, Jessica.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Sade. Y'all have a great rest of your day.
You too. All right, I'm going to kick things off to you, Marissa. We had some real heavy content around STEM, but I think we need to wrap out with some feel good stuff with you and your guests.
Oh, yes. What better way than kittens all the way to your heart, right? Thank you, Sade. So moving on to Renee Vasquez, Director of Fort Bend Animal Services, and our Thursday Family Fun Day guest. Welcome back to the show, Renee. Thank you for the short intro in the beginning. So at the top of the show, Sade mentioned rescue animals, specifically kittens, who, when I was looking up the website, are the most vulnerable rescue animals, right? So when you say this is kitten season, what does that mean? What does that look like to our community?
So the way we look at it is we look at cats almost like kind of in the spring, kind of like your the wildlife that we have here in Texas, your skunks, your possums, your raccoons. Seems like that's when the cats have their most babies. So for us, people automatically start calling us when they have the baby kittens, and it becomes an issue because we do have to go and we have to rescue them and bring them to the shelter. But then that's when the problems occur. You take them away from the mom, and it's difficult. It's difficult because now you have to be the mother. You have to be waking up two to 3 hours a day, bottle feeding. And so that's kind of what we're going to talk about, how this will hopefully benefit, the public and the people that want to come and help.
Great. Awesome. So what is your advice to our community members who think they found stray kittens, and what are you doing in the back end to help our community stop that?
So first, when they call the shelter, and we'd like to tell them, hey, look, let's just wait. Let's see if the mom comes back, because obviously they're always better with the mother if they're safe. We do understand there are certain circumstances where we have to step in. There is no mom, so on and so forth. They bring the animals to us, and then the process starts. So, but the main thing is to try to leave them there, leave them put. The mom will take care of them, and as soon as they get maybe 4 weeks old, we'll come out, we'll pick them up, and they'll bring them to the shelter.
Okay, so at times, do you feel that in your facilities, is there an overpopulation of kittens? And how can maybe spaying and neutering help that? And is there any policies or advice do you have for a community?
Yeah, absolutely. So spaying and neutering obviously is the ultimate goal, that we wouldn't have so many babies. We do have a lot of different programs. We have a Finder to Foster, where we will fix those dogs or cats for free here at the shelter. We have an outstanding, which is our biggest life-saving program. It's called a Trap Neuter Return program. So that is for the feral cats, because not all cats are just friendly. So some cats, live out in the wild and do their jobs. Those cats come in every Wednesday. We do probably between 30 to 40 cats, and we will spay or neuter them. We'll give them a rabies shot, and their left ear is tipped 1/4 of an inch. That indicates that cat is in our Trap Neuter Return program. So it's been helping. We've probably done since 2018 over 7,000 cats. So we hope maybe that's why the kitten season has been a little further backed up for us. I don't know, knock on wood, but we know it's coming.
Now that's great to know, knowing that you're doing this for our community and knowing that all the kittens, the cats, and dogs are being helped the way that they need to. By providing that service to our community, not only probably saves money to those who are willing to do anything to have a pet in their home, but maybe can't afford that to do it when looking for a pet. I hear there's a big event going on this weekend. Tell us a little bit about it, the date, time, location, any fun stuff going on.
So on April 14th, It's going to be a Sunday. We're calling it a kitten shower. So it's going to be, so it's kind of sponsored by Best Friends National Organization out of Houston. They're outstanding. They're a national organization. They come in, they help with big things like this. So they're putting on the class for Fort Bend County, for the city of Rosenberg, and for Sugarland. So they're inviting all their people, and we're inviting our people to come if you want to learn, how to basically bottle feed kittens. And they will have kittens present. They will have all the equipment that you need and to teach, because the long story short is the shelters are always extremely full. So it's hard for us. We could feed all day, 8 hours a day here, but like I mentioned, they're like babies. You have to feed them every 2 to 3 hours. And it's hard when staff here only have limited staff. And when they take all these litters home and they're waking up, then they come to work. So it would be nice, if you're at home and you can help and so on and so forth. I mean, it would be, I think this would be a great opportunity for families to learn how to do it. Summertime's coming. If you're home, you want something to do, hey, here's a litter of kittens. And you're not obligated to keep them. They come back to the shelter once we know that they're adopted. We put them through our program and they will be ready to be adopted out.
And you say that, and it's crazy to think that sometimes this is also connected to your mental health. Sometimes we need that someone, that sense of belonging with, sometimes an individual, but having, like you mentioned, a baby. I've been saying kittens, but you keep saying the word babies. I'm like, they are a baby. They need the same love and attention just like anybody else. And bottle training, what better way to be able to show the love to this kitten, right? So from these bottle trainings, do you see any volunteers who come back and want to volunteer at your facilities? Is there a process for that? If they want to come back, if they love what they do, if they love what they're seeing at this event, is there an opportunity for them to volunteer at your facility?
Absolutely. So we're going to discuss that when we're there, like how the volunteer opportunities, how you can come in and out of the shelter, the things that we'll furnish, because we're asking for donations as well for all the different products, because we don't want anyone to go out. I mean, you're already, waking up and doing all this for us and for the kittens. So we want to be able to supply everything, almost like a kit, be able to give that to the family that comes and gets, the kittens. I did mention it's going to be at the Civic Center off of Highway 36 in Rosenberg. So that's where we're gonna be. So it's gonna be indoors, it'll be air conditioned, and it'll be fun. But it's definitely, there's a lot of people that love cats. So if you're a cat person, if you're a kitten person, come. And if you've never volunteered at any of these 3 shelters, please come. We're gonna talk to you. We're gonna explain to you the processes, how everything works, and it doesn't cost anything except time and love.
Time and love. I love it. So tell me about your facility. Do you all accept donations for certain items? Is there something specific that you're looking for? Tell us about those items which you bring in or request from the community.
Yeah. So right now, basically for this kitten shower, we're asking for basically it's a kitten milk replacement. That's a big thing. They're also the other things are called miracle nipples. It's a specific nipple that's super skinny. It's hard to explain. I wish I should have had one, but they're the ones that catch on just like if it's the mama. So those are really important. Of course, the baby bottles, heating pads. Heating pads is a really big thing because the kittens have to stay warm. Obviously, when they're with their mother kind of smothers them and gives them the body heat. But if they're here at the shelter, if they're at your house, you probably have your air conditioning on, and as you do, but you got to make sure you put a heating pad down. Small blankets, are super important. And then there's a special canned food that we feed when they get a little bit older. It's called Royal Canin mother food. And so that's a baby mother food, and that's a really big. It's kind of pricey, but it's super good. It has all the nutrients that the baby kittens need.
And can that be found at HEB, or is there a specific location you can find them?
Petco, different Amazon. Wherever you wish to purchase them, and we'll also have a list that day as well. So if anybody wants to donate there as well.
Earlier, you mentioned adoption. How does that? Is there a free to adopt a kitten or any animal from your rescue center? Is there something you need to sign? Is there a background check? I'm sorry. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Yeah, we make very limited, no barriers. We don't try to minimize anything that we have to do here. We are beyond overcrowded. If you ask me about the dogs, it's a whole other situation. We're probably at 200 over capacity. We're really, really full. We're an open intake shelter at this time. So the animals come in, but every animal here, cats and dogs, are spay and neutered. They're microchipped. They're vaccinated. They have all their shots. At this time, because we're so overcrowded, we've been waiving our fees. So it's free. So if you're looking for a pet, please come to Fort Bend County. We can definitely try to match you with one. You mentioned the process. It's a 1.5-page application, super easy. It's general information. We don't do background checks. We're not going to come to your house, but we'll talk about taking a pet home. Do you have other pets? If your introduction is so important. If you have a dog at home and he's 5 or 6 years old and it's the only animal you've had, well, guess what? He's king of the house. You can't bring another pet and turn them loose and think that everything's going to be okay. So introduction is really, really important. So we try to go through different processes, different steps to prevent that animal from coming back to us, because that's the name of the game for us. Is we have to continue to adopt animals out so we can continue to pick up animals, and it's a struggle. But yeah, we definitely thank you for asking that, because yeah,
So I have one great question. Do you have any kittens? Do you have any dogs?
Oh, myself?
Yourself, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you coming from this background,
Our family,
feel like you talk the talk, say, hey, does your family have pets? You can share that experience with volunteers.
Yes. So all of my pets are from the shelter. So I have, you can't judge me on it. I have 6. We have 6 cats. I have 4 dogs. So
that's amazing. And do they all get along? I know you mentioned sometimes there's a king of a house, cat of the house.
Everybody gets along. No, everybody gets along. The little ones think they're the kings of the house, but no, everybody gets along, and it's a lot of work. Summertime comes, people travel, and you got to make sure that you find good people to take care of your animals. So I mean, that's always a thing. Don't depend on the shelter. Try to drop off an animal. So it's a responsibility. I'll come back and say, like, when they're babies, they're babies. When you own a pet, they're family members. So I mean,
Right.
you have to treat them as that. So, yes.
Awesome. No, thank you so much, Renee Vasquez, for joining us today. Again, Director of Fort Bend Animal Services, and our Thursday Family Fun Day guest. We'll definitely have some more of your information in our post show. Thank you, Renee.
Awesome. No, thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it.
Such a great interview, Marissa. Now, I have to say, I did not expect him to say he had 10 animals. I'm not a cat person. I'm a cat meme person. I think that they make hilarious digital content, but I'm not ready for the responsibility.
Definitely.
Shout out to everyone who is really helping the shelter. Like, people, I believe that my belief is that God places that desire in people's heart to really have a heart for animals. So always love to hear those stories. Great interview. Well, as we always wrap out, we have our announcements for HCC. Want to kick things off to my normal co-host, Dr. Rima Adil. Congratulations are in order. She has been named as the Interim Vice Chancellor of Student Services. She formerly served as HCC Northwest's Dean of Student Success. Dr. Dill has many years of higher education administration experience across multiple areas at our institution. She's also committed to community enrichment, actively serving on the boards of National Council of Student Development, United Nations Association, World Chamber of Commerce, and Leadership Houston. Congratulations to Dr. Rima Dill.
Awesome. Thank you, Sharday. So what better way of STEM, how we started, is having a math challenge. So you heard that right. HCC is having a math challenge at our Eastside campus on April 5th in our Angela Morales building. So what does this look like? This is designed to gauge our students' math skills and pique their interest in STEM fields. So current HCC students are encouraged to apply, and there will be awards. There will be gift cards, tablets, which is a big thing, calculators, and even a summer research internship, and plus a stipend. So this is a great opportunity for our HCC students who are in love with math, who want to increase their interest in STEM fields. Check out our post after show for more information.
All right, well, coming up, we have Back to the Foodture. which is a culinary competition and tasting. Faculty, staff, and students are invited to attend the third annual Back to the Foodture competition. The interdisciplinary competition is between HCC, history, biology, and culinary departments. So come try the culinary and pasty creations. Rightfully so, it is at our HCC Central Campus Culinary Arts Building, which is amazing. It'll be happening Thursday, April 11th at 1 p.m. Details will be posted after the show.
So graduation is right around the corner. Next month, we will be having a graduation cover contest. As graduation approaches, students can also showcase their amazing design skills by creating the graduation ceremony cover for the spring and fall 2024 graduation ceremony. The two winners will not only get their artwork published in the program, but also have a chance to win a new iPad. Submissions are due by 5 p.m. on April 29th. To learn more about the contest, we'll have more information after the show.
All right. Well, the spring faculty exhibition is still ongoing across the district. The Media, Visual, and Performing Arts Center of Excellence here at HCC is hosting across the district a spring 2024 faculty exhibitions. Now through April and May, we will have exhibitions and receptions. The time and the details and locations vary by campus. This is free. No registration is necessary. Please be sure to check the details after the show to find an exhibition near you.
Also, HCC summer registration for 5, 8, and 10-week courses has begun, but fall registration is right around the corner as well. Regular registration for all fall classes begin April 15th. Like all HCC courses, they're offered in 5 different platforms. We have online anytime, which is no established class meeting. It's at your own pace. We have online on a schedule, which a meeting time is set and the course meets online. We have a hybrid schedule, which it's a lecture cast meets partially face-to-face and partially virtually. We have in-person, which is face-to-face courses, which are traditional meeting patterns at our campuses. And we also have a hybrid lab, which is our lab classes and our studio courses that are also partially face-to-face and partially virtual. To learn more about our HCC programs, start dates, options to cover cost, please visit hccs.edu/apply.
All right. Well, coming up tomorrow, we'll hear all about HCC Coleman's Medical Laboratory Technician Program. And for Film Friday, we'll welcome back the Houston Film Commission to tell us about their latest production. Thanks so much for joining us for this edition of Up to the Minute. We'll see you next time.